Oh my God, boys, we've done it. That was painful as hell, but we got 3 points, and that's what matters. But there's a ton to talk about because that was a war, and we lost some good men today, but we came out of it with 3 points, and that's what really matters. But to get into the game, really here, if you guys missed it, I think we had to rotate some guys, and so that led to a little bit of a weird lineup. We had very little support on the wings, and that played right into Celta's hands because they were very condensed and narrow in their press or in their shape in general. And because of that, it made it difficult for our guys in the middle, like Pedri, Frankie, Fermin, Rafinha, and Lewandowski at times to link up with one another and find a second pass to one of our teammates to help create and help influence play. That made it kind of difficult for our guys to create in the final third, especially. And so it was up to them to make a little special space for themselves. And that's how Ferran Torres scored a fantastic goal, I might add, there for our opener. But there was some space in behind that entire time, and Celta were able to capitalize it. I think Borja put some fantastic strikes on the ball, and we missed some chances. Lewandowski skied a couple that were unfortunate. And then we just didn't really create wonderful chances. You could also be upset with Chesney for today's game. I think he made a couple mistakes too. He did make a couple saves as well, but a couple big mistakes that I think hurt us. But I wouldn't overall put it on him the way today played. Frankie de Jong made a terrible mistake leading to, I don't know if it was the second or I think it was the third goal maybe. But Borja, man, put some fantastic strikes on the ball and made it really difficult for our guys to defend. And I think Inigo had a really poor game. Martin had a really poor game. Koundé had a really poor game. And Pedri and Frankie. Pedri had a solid game, but Frankie really found it difficult to get into play, I felt like. And even the front three struggled for most of the game, where Ferran Torres scored a great worldie, but then again, had trouble influencing the play. Fermin put a couple good strikes on the ball, but again, because Celta was so narrow and they were able to do that because Barça had no wide threats, as their wide threats were Koundé and then Gerard Martin, obviously there's not a lot of support there, but they worked through that. Obviously, we went down 3-1 at one point, but then Hansi brought on the guys, and Lamine came on. We also brought on, I think, let me see. Dani Olmo came on, and Dani Olmo was fantastic today. Lamine came on, and when he was able to get on the ball, he was good. But they were, pushing him really wide, and they had a guy really tight to him the whole time. So he had trouble influencing play, I feel like, but he was able to do enough to not only assist a wonderful goal from Rafinha, a great header, but I think he put a couple really dangerous balls in there and definitely helped spread Celta wider a little bit, opening up more space in the middle for guys like Dani Olmo and Rafinha and Pedri to connect with one another. I think having Lamine on the pitch, even if he wasn't getting on the ball, was paramount to getting that space in the middle for these guys to connect with one another, to play those quick passes and to do their thing. We saw that wonderfully. Dani Olmo was beautiful, so good at football today, won the penalty for us. Rafinha put a great strike on that, fantastic strike on the ball. We played like a team at the end of this game that was hungry. Lamine looked great, and they turned it around wonderfully. But let's get right into the ratings so you guys get a better idea of how everybody did today. Chesney, I'm going to just give him a 5. I think he made good saves, enough to boost him up. I think that first goal, too, is a little bit too critical of him because it was such a good pass that any keeper is going to have trouble getting their hands on it. So it kind of just got under his hand a little bit, but it was such a good pass that I'm not really going to hold it against him. But he did make a couple other mistakes that made it concerning, and so I think a 5 is probably reasonable. And then the back line was just not good. Again, as I said, it wasn't an easy position for them, and I'm not even going to call it on, I made a video on fatigue on this channel and how it's kind of hurting this team, but I don't think Koundé wasn't good today or because he was tired. I think he wasn't great today because he had so much responsibility going forward, and he's not great going forward. He's very one-dimensionally going forward, can't really cut in and use his left foot at all, and he's just not great on the ball. His first touch isn't great, same for Martin, and because there was so much responsibility on them because there's no wide outlet anywhere on the pitch when Lamine and Balde aren't there, basically, it's really difficult for these guys. And that's why we need Balde back, and that's also why we need Lamine on the pitch. Today, he looked wonderful, so unbelievably good today. But, the point here is that I think it's not the worst performance from them, but it's not necessarily on them that they didn't play well. It's just the setup was putting a lot of pressure on them. Nonetheless, 5, I think 4, probably a 4 for Koundé. I really don't think he was good defensively or going forward. And Martin, probably the same thing. I just thought he was bad, and he has no touch. So I'm going to give them both fours. Inigo, I don't think he was great today. Nearly took down the striker for Celta in the 73rd minute, but the striker didn't go down. There wasn't enough contact that I think it would have been clear, but I could imagine Barkalow would have gone down there and probably would have won a pen or a foul and then a red card, and then we probably don't come back there. But that didn't happen. He got away with it. Still not a great game. 6, probably. I'll give him a 5. I just don't think he was good. Did get the assist for Ferran Torres' goal, but I just don't think he was good today. And Kuba was fine. Not great, but I think he was better. He's not the fastest guy, so when there's a lot of space behind him, it can be exploited pretty easily. And there were a couple times maybe you could have asked him to be deeper, where Frankie de Jong was the deepest player, and then Borja just found a ton of space in behind. Maybe you could hold that against him. I don't know if I will, but I'll give him a 5.5 because I think he was better than Inigo, but just still not great. And then Frankie, I'm going to give him a 5. He made a terrible mistake that brings him down really low, but I think it was really important at the end of the game and in possession generally that brings him up slightly. But again, not a great performance by him nonetheless is the main point here. Not a great job from him. Pedri, probably the best of the starters, I would say the most consistent and the most important. He did lose the ball a couple times, which is uncharacteristic. But again, I'm going to put that up to not being able to find a passing lane because you have no wide outlets and Celta's so central. So your options are either Koundé or Gerard Martin. And there was obvious, at least for Koundé, it seemed like the guys didn't want to pass to him, really. They were kind of avoiding that pass. You saw it from Lamine when he came on, too. But we could talk about the ref if we wanted to. He was letting everything play on, which obviously hurts us because we have more of the ball. We get fouled more, but they weren't calling anything. I think the pen is a pen. It's clearly a pen. And I don't think we're lucky by that call at all, but the ref was letting everything play. I thought he was going to ignore that one too, but he ended up calling it. I think it's the right call, and Rafinha put a good strike on that. Let's just not talk about the refs that much. We had 2.46 XG. They had 1.9, but they scored 3. We scored 4. I think that's probably fair. I would have liked us to be a little bit better today, but we'll go back to Fermin, I think was really good as well. I think, again, it's unfortunate that he didn't have enough support maybe, or he had so many guys around him, which not having a wide outlet can do. I wish I would have seen him with Lamine on the pitch. Nonetheless, I think he had a good game. Not a great game. 6.5 probably. Put a couple good strikes on the ball, though. But again, not enough. Didn't get an assist or a goal today, so I think a 6.5 is fair. Pedri, I'm going to give him like an 8, but Rafa's going to be my man of the match at 8.5. I think he struggled for a lot of this match. I think he really did. We were talking a little bit about the Ballon d'Or run and how he hasn't been perfect a lot. He looks a little mess sometimes, but then he gets the numbers somehow. And today he scored a great header, like a fantastic header. We've seen him do that game in a lot of games actually. And then I think he assisted Dani Olmo's goal as well, which was beautiful. So when Dani Olmo came on and Lamine came on, that space opened up in the middle. We saw them really excel together, and having Lamine, Dani Olmo, and Rafinha together is so important to me for that Inter Milan match and against Madrid on the weekend as well. So we'll see how they handle the Mallorca match and everything and move forward. But really, Rafinha is my man of the match, coming out with that fantastic penalty finish and the header and the assist. It's got to be Rafinha. An 8.5 probably, just because it wasn't a perfect performance by him or anybody. But Lewandowski was fine today. I'm just going to give him like a 6. I don't know. He linked up okay. He was down on the ground a lot, but then the ref wasn't calling anything, as I said, so it was difficult for him. You could say the same for Ferran Torres, who was fine, but then really didn't affect play very much, put a couple bad passes in there. Because he scored, I'll give him a 7, but I don't think he was great today. My shark boy wasn't sharking today, you know what I mean? He wasn't biting. He bit once, and then he just swam away. We didn't really see him after that. And I think Hansi made good subs. He did what he needed to do. I would love for Koundé not to play against Mallorca. I think Hector Fort was desperately needed. We need some attacking talent. That's why we were calling for Ratu. We were talking about Ratu a lot in the stream because I have a couple of Romanian guys in chat, and he's one of the fullbacks that they're looking at to sign, and I think he's good. I think he's good on the ball. He's not the greatest defender, but he's a bigger profile, potential to learn to defend in the future and get better at that. But yeah, I think Hansi did the right thing, more or less, for most of the game. But having some more fullback attacking prowess would be good when Balde's not on the pitch. And Hector Fort provides that Hopefully he gets some minutes. He just doesn't seem to like him. He was warming up today, but so was Ansu Fati. So we'll see how that lines up. But I think he made the right choices. He made the subs that he needed to. And obviously, we ended up coming out with 3 points in a very, very hard-fought battle. Not a game where you want to be able to relax and move forward from. But when Real Madrid have to play at Athletic Club tomorrow, it's far from a guarantee that they're going to win, especially with how Madrid have been playing. So we'll see how that plans out. I wouldn't be surprised if they drop points. Thank God we didn't, though. Visca Barça, boys. I will be posting some more videos on this channel over the next couple days. I'm not going to be live for the Mallorca match, most likely, but I will be live for the Copa del Rey match on Big Up. Link will be in the description, as always. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, everybody.